The episode of Bay Area Boxing Talk. And this episode, we're going to talk about, well, what could happen, what should happen, might happen. We're going to talk a little bit about Canelo and Triple G, what it means for both fighters, should they come out victorious or lose. So we're going to get that underway. All right. So with that being said, let's begin. All right. So tomorrow is the third, I'm not going to say anticipated, showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Triple G Golovkin. This will be the third time that they're fighting. To a certain degree, this fight came out of nowhere because you had heard all this talk from Canelo saying he has no interest in fighting Triple G a third time, but then Canelo back in May took a serious ass whooping at the hands of Dimitri Bivol. And he got beat to the point to where he needed a confidence builder because he was thoroughly dominated by Dimitri Bivol. It was really a one-sided fight, and many people believe that had Dimitri Bivol really went after Canelo, he could have stopped Canelo. But nevertheless, he walked away with a unanimous decision, a very narrow unanimous decision, but nevertheless it was a W. He won, and that's just basically the bottom line. But now what we have now, you wondering, well, is Triple G long in the tooth, or too long in the tooth to where he's ripe for the taking? He's 40 years old now. Rumor has it that this is his last fight with the Zone. So what's next for Triple G? Is he going to head to Top Rank? Is he going to head over to the PBC? Does Triple G have the drawing power that he has, or once had? I know. Triple G did have HBO did a lot of hype behind. A few years, people failed. Me, myself, thought much of Triple G to win. I thought Triple G was overrated as hell. I thought he was a hype machine. And to me, I feel like I was proven right. Because you looked at Triple G's direction, you look at his selection of opponents, and it's like, okay, this dude really didn't try to fight the best guys out there. He really didn't try to fight elite fighters. He fought okay fighters and a lot of subpar fighters. He fought a lot of fighters that in all likelihood he would be a favorite to win. So so what happens to him if he stopped? I think if Triple G is beat down and stopped by Canelo, I really think he should consider retirement. I'm not telling him to retire, but I think he should consider retirement. And you never know. Depending on how much damage Triple G takes tomorrow, he may call it a career. But we'll have to see. Now, getting to Canelo. You have to ask the same question about Canelo. Canelo is 32 years old, but Canelo might be an old 32. Canelo's been fighting professionally since he's been 15 to 16 years old. He's had a lot of fights. So you have to wonder, is it taking toll on him? Now, before you say Julio Cesar Chavez fought over 100, well, and Canelo is bigger than Julio Cesar Chavez. And then not to mention, going up in weight sometimes. Can your body hold a certain amount of weight? I don't want to technically break it down, all that kind of stuff, but you just have to wonder. So, what if Canelo loses to Triple G? Now, what if Canelo loses to Triple G? I don't think he will, but let's just say for argument's sake or for debate's sake, he does lose. Then what? Where does that leave Canelo? Canelo would be coming off back-to-back losses. And even worse, what if Triple G lands a punch that puts Canelo's lights out? Because, Triple G still got solid power. They say your power is the last thing to go. So what if Triple G lands the money shot on Canelo? Then what? What does that leave for Canelo? And you still have to figure what direction is Canelo going to go, even if Canelo wins tomorrow. Canelo is not interested really in a second fight with Dimitri Bivol. He's already said he's not going to fight Gilberto Ramirez if he beats Bivol. So what is there for Canelo to do? He's not going to go back up to light heavyweight and try to fight Art. We know that would be a disaster for him. So I just don't see what direction is he going to go. Is he going to go back to the PBC? So a lot of questions remained unanswered with Canelo. So it made me wonder, like, okay, so what is this guy going to do? He said he doesn't want to fight any Mexicans. Doesn't seem to be interested in fighting, for the most part, elite black fighters. So what is there out there for Canelo? You know? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. And we'll just have to see. But I'll be tuning in. But, you know, like I said before, this wasn't a fight that I just was anxious to see, because I'm just so excited about this fight. I cover boxing, so this is what I do. You know, and after this, I'll be getting ready for, you know, to head out to New Jersey to cover the Shakur Stevenson fight. Then afterwards, we'll see what's up with the Lomachenko fight. I'm probably going to send somebody to that fight. You know, that's just real talk. I'm going to probably send somebody, which, by the way, I'm going to speak on Lomachenko later on in his drawing power, on why he isn't a big star and why, for the most part, that he isn't really, he would, in a fight with a, you know, elite fighter or somebody a little more popular, or I ain't even gonna say a little more popular, you could make an argument that Lomachenko would be the B-side in pretty much any fight. He would more than likely be the B-side versus Shakur Stevenson. He definitely would be the B-side versus Tank, and he would be the B-side versus Devin Haney. Now, we're a long way from any of those fights happening, but we'll discuss it. All right, so let's get to the nitty-gritty. So far what we have, and the highly anticipated super fight, we finally have basically the terms allegedly worked out. Basically, both camps are looking at the contract with their lawyers. Nothing has been signed. But I want to take the time out to call out a lot of those lying ass content creators and boxing media members who are trying to push this narrative that Terrence Crawford was the one holding up the fight, and that Errol Spence had already signed his contract, and they waiting on Terrence Crawford. So, as I told you before, there wasn't no damn contract. I said that before. There wasn't no contract, and I'm gonna say this again. You know, if you got access to some of these fighters and they feeding you little bits of information, good for you. But I don't mean they was telling the truth. But now you see, as I said before, they wasn't no damn contract. Remember, that was reported. All this stuff about contracts and locations and all that stuff, it was. But of course, these dudes did disappeared because, like I said before, they was about putting out fake news and pushing a fake narrative, just basically because they was Errol Spence, you know, nut huggers, and they was part of the Spence. Spence already signed his contract. They waiting on Terrence Crawford. And I just want to say, you dudes are some fucking liars. But we know y'all ain't gonna own up to it and just admit that you guys lied. Which, like I said, I told you it wasn't no contract. I told y'all it wasn't no damn contract. And it was capped. And now that you guys see it was capped, Now all of a sudden people now trying to jump on this bandwagon. Yeah, I told you it was gonna happen. I told you. Nobody was sure, because this fight was on the verge of not happening. Because you was hearing Errol Spence talking about he may be fighting in Dallas, and I already knew Terrence Crawford wasn't fighting. If he was talking about his next fight was going to be in Dallas, he was going to be fighting Keith Thurman in Dallas, because Terrence Crawford wasn't coming to Dallas to fight. And then you also hearing that Terrence Crawford is taking a 60-40 split. So he's taking less money to make this fight happen. So a lot of your narratives have been debunked about, Terrence Crawford was holding up the fight. And like I said, a lot of y'all lied about Errol Spence signing the contract. And once again, I don't care about none of you dudes being mad at me because you guys getting called out. I don't want to have to say your names. I will say your names. Stuff that you was lying. You were lying. All that stuff about an announcement coming 4th of July and all that kind of stuff, man, man, people is chilling on the 4th of July, man, barbecuing, chilling with their families, man. Just stop the cap, man. Just stop it. So we at the final stretch. They trying to get everything done. You're hearing that this fight is gonna most likely take place at the Raiders stadium, but that hasn't even been, that hasn't been really officially announced. But you would think with everything that was going on and going to be going on in Vegas, the MGM Grand is going to have some kind of event on Friday, but it would technically be available Saturday. But you basically talking about how I know it ain't gonna be at the MGM Grand, or at least at the very least, it wouldn't be a press conference there or a weigh-in, because that day you would have to basically readjust the MGM arena for concert ready, to basically make it ready for, or at least make it ready for a weigh-in, and that's not going to happen. They're not going to go through all that trouble, because that's extra work and that's extra money that they have to pay people, and that would be just, that just wouldn't be comfortable or suitable enough for them to try to do that in a 24-hour period. Usually, if you're going to have a fight there, you're going to have the ring ready, and one side of the arena is for the people that's basically covering the fight, the media and the fans and all that kind of stuff. So that's not going to happen, but I just wanted to put it was just lying front as usual. Anyway, it's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.